Hi, I'm John LaPola.
And I'm Douglas Amport.
And we are Bitter Esters. The name actually comes from two of the flavor profiles that are in beer. Bitter being the bitterness from hops, and esters being almost a fruit-like flavor that comes from fermentation process, especially in ale yeasts.
Bitter and esters actually is about the craftsmanship and about the making of beer, because those two flavors are two of the main flavor components in beer, and so you have to know how to balance them in order to make something that's really special.
We're the only shop in New York State that offer a brew on premises, meaning that you can come brew beer here, which is what you guys are doing today. It's 6 cases. The opportunity to brew with Perrier water, I mean, really, it doesn't happen every day. So, no, it's cool, you know, using really water from France. It's like, who does it in America? I would say nobody. What makes a good water for beer depends on the style of beer that you're using. If you notice, a lot of beers are regional, so they use their local water to get the style of beer that they were trying to go for. So in Ireland, they use very alkaline water, which helps when you add dark malts to make it more acidic, so they make stouts.
Good water for beer tastes good. But I think Perrier tastes amazing. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great opportunity to work with something that we don't have the opportunity to do with unless we're adding all sorts of different salts and things to it. So it's bottled at the source. It's, you know, comes straight to us, and we get to do something cool. It's imported water. It's imported water.
My dream come true.
It's kind of awesome, yeah.
What I think that Andy Warhol would have thought is I think he would have loved the fact that we were using Perrier water. He always thought outside the box. That was what he was known for. And the first time I ever saw an Andy Warhol exhibition was in Paris. So it's kind of comes full circle for me that I'm using French water. Final bottle of Perrier going into the hot liquor tank. Godspeed, little bubbles. We're hoping that it gets flat really soon. Covering it up. Letting it get nice and warm. Our recipe today, we're making an Irish red. We have our water heating up, but now we got to gather some grain together and mill it so that we can add the Perrier water to this grain and convert the starches to sugar inside the grain. The process is called mashing.
It's been around for 6,000 years, beer. People have been making it forever. People think that beer is the reason civilization started. It's complex on so many levels. Like, there's deep biochemistry and like horticulture, and you can grow hops and you can grow malt and you can culture yeast, but also it's something that anybody can get into because it's as simple as making soup. You're literally boiling things. I mean, you add hops, you add water, you add this, you add that. Like, we thought long and hard about Perrier, you know, its mineral content, how it was gonna react, what malts we needed to use to get it into the shape of beer that we wanted to make it. But you can also just kind of wing it, throw it together, and I think I love that about beer, that it can just be done by anybody.
Anybody can make beer. There's no question about that.
Anybody can make beer, definitely.
And out of the basement comes your cool wort. This has no yeast in it, no alcohol. This is just the food that the yeast are going to consume. But this is basically what the beer is going to look like, a little clearer. It tastes like delicious sweet tea right now. Soon this will be delicious, delicious beer.
Do homebrew tours, and that's one of the really fun things. I've been doing them about 4 years now, and the idea is that some of the best beer is being made in people's apartments. And by and large, you're not going to get a taste of these beers, I mean, unless you're good friends with them. And so what I do is I take people to 3 different homebrewers' homes, and you get to try their beer, meet the brewer, and it's like a roving voyeuristic house party.
I first had a sip of my dad's Pilsner probably when I was about 6 years old. Yeah, that kind of changed my life.
Beer is my occupation because of my family, actually. It changed my life utterly, changed the course of everything I was doing, and I sank everything into it.
I never really got into food and wine and scotch and bourbon until I really delved into beer.
I've been homebrewing for several years. I learned back in Arizona where I had a backyard, and ever since moving back to Brooklyn, I've had to get a little more creative about space, but yeah, I really like brewing and distilling.
Beer is important. Beer should be important in everybody's life.
It's also a very communal experience. You make beer and you're probably the most popular person in your friends.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming and for tasting our mystery beer. Cheers. So enjoy it. Cheers.
You know, I mean, at first echoes, I thought Vienna Lager because it was actually pretty crisp on there, but now I'm not so sure. So on there, but you know, it's actually crisp, refreshing, easy going down. You know, I mean, if I'm right or wrong, it's still good beer.
Serious, I can't take it any
Can't
longer.
take it anymore. The mystery ingredient. The mystery ingredient is in the hot liquor tank. What do we keep in the hot liquor tank? This beer was made with 30 gallons of Perrier water. That's the mystery ingredient.
The mineral makeup has really influenced beers throughout the history. So when you said that, I was like, oh, definitely the mineral, like carbonate makeup, everything here and there definitely influenced it. I just didn't automatically think about that.
I tasted it throughout the process, and I was like, oh boy, this is good, this is good, this is good. Yay. You know.
But I do taste some of the minerals in it, and that really stood out.
So I think it was great.
If I were to relate it to like a barley wine, except much lighter.
The beer came out fantastic. That's one of the things that makes me most happy, and it was a fun thing. And brewing beer should be fun. And we really had a great time brewing the beer. We're having a great time drinking the beer. And I want to do it again. I do, I really do.